Hi there, and welcome to an early walkthrough of the Fluent Forever app. It's currently the last day of October 2018. Happy Halloween, everyone. And this is a deep dive into Beta 2, the first version of our app that has enough of our core features to really be a powerful learning tool for long-term study. So, let's get started. In this version, once you've logged in and been onboarded, you're going to see 3 tabs on the bottom: Home, Learn, and Review. The home screen is where you'll access your settings and where we'll tell you what to do next. Every day you can keep coming back to this home screen and it will bounce you around the various parts of the app. Initially, we're going to guide you into the Learn tab so that you can learn pronunciation and create some flashcards for you to review later. So that brings us to the Learn screen. Now, the Fluent Forever method is divided into 4 steps. You learn pronunciation, you learn simple words, you learn grammar, and then you polish all that you've learned into fluent speech with the help of a tutor. In this Beta 2 version of the app, you'll find those first 3 steps right here. In the pronunciation section, you'll find a bunch of video explanations for your language's sound system, along with pronunciation lessons. You'll watch those videos, and then we'll create a bunch of customized flashcards for you so you can remember all the details in those videos. Details like how the French B sounds like B, as in bol, and the French O can sound like O, as in orbite. Since we're using example words for every one of these flashcards, we're going to ask you to choose images for each of those examples. That will make each flashcard customized to you, and therefore more interesting and more memorable in the long term. You can choose 1 to 4 images, and you can perform a live search in your target language or in English. So here, I'm going to choose a normal-looking bowl, and also since I'm kind of amused that French bloggers are talking enough about the basketball player Bol that he's showing up at the top of our search results, I'll choose him too. As for orbite, I'll grab a custom search of an orbiting moon just because I want to show you what that search engine looks like. Also, because the more I personalize these flashcards, the better they're going to work for me. So let me choose the rest of these, and then we'll move on to the other flavor of pronunciation lessons, which is ear training. This is where we're going to rewire your ears to hear new sounds in your target language. We do this by exposing you to pairs of words that sound similar. These can be 2 French words that sound similar, like and am. Or a French and an English word that sounds similar, like bag and bag.
Bag.
You can play the recordings over and over again to your heart's content. And after you do, we'll add flashcards to your review pile that play one of those 2 recordings at random, and then ask you to figure out which one you heard.
Bug.
So that's the pronunciation section. Generally, I'd recommend that you do those 3 things each day until you're done with pronunciation. You watch a video, you choose some images, and then you listen to ear training lessons. Then you'll want to review that stuff on a daily basis so it gets ingrained into your long-term memory. If you have extra time, or once you're done with pronunciation, I'd suggest you move on to learning simple words or moving all the way over to grammar. Now, the simple words section is fairly, simple. You tap on a word to learn it, you tap on the images you want, or search for whatever you want. You get to our preview window, which is super simple in this section. You can tap on the cards up top to see what they'll look like, and then you can add those flashcards to your review pile. If you see a word that you don't care to learn, you can skip it by swiping, and if you see a word that you already know, you can mark it as known in the same way. In practice, this section allows you to quickly make a bunch of basic picture flashcards for a bunch of simple words. Now, if you'd like to learn grammar, you'll initially see the same words available to learn, but if you tap on a word, you'll find 3 sentences that use that word in context. The easy sentences will use that word in a pretty straightforward way, and the medium and hard ones will generally do something more complex with that word. Here, for instance, we're dealing with the French adjective blanc, which is used in its normal form in the first sentence, but switches over to the feminine form in the medium one, and is used as a plural noun, white people, in the advanced sentence. So, if we pick one of those sentences, and I'll choose the medium one here, then the next step is going to be to choose an image. In this case, we're mostly getting a bunch of women named Blanche for some reason, so I'll jump over into the advanced search, which gets a lot more interesting in this grammar section. This sentence is about wearing a white dress for her wedding day. And so I'll add robe to the search term so that it's a white dress that I get for my photo. You can also use this interface to explore what various words mean in French and find out some of the differences between French and English. So here's robe blanche And here's white dress, and you'll see that they're not quite the same. English white dresses seem to be flowier than French ones. You add your images, and you'll come to a much more sophisticated preview screen. Here you can learn the word blanche from a fill in the blank, but you can also learn word order. That looks like this. And you can learn the dictionary form whenever a word is conjugated or declined. This will teach you that there's a relationship between the dictionary form blanc and the feminine form of it, blanche. Once you decide which flashcards you'd like to make, you can go back into the same sentence and learn anything else you'd like. So I can go back in and learn robe, dress. I can learn mariage, marriage. I can tell the app that I already know the words le and jour. And then I can finish this sentence and move to sentences for some other word. Finally, I can go review all the flashcards I've created, and every day it will only show me the flashcards at the moment when they're going to be the most effective, so that I don't waste any time studying stuff I don't need to study right now. We use something called spaced repetition. It figures out the optimal amount of time between each review for every flashcard you study, and then only shows you those flashcards right at that optimal moment. So that is what Beta 2 has to offer right now. And that should give you months worth of material to study. That said, we're definitely not stopping there. Our current backlog for development has 183 items in it, and that only scratches the surface of the feature list that we'd like to include long term. I can't list all of those features because this video is already getting super long, but I just wanted to give you a few highlights. One, we're going to be adding a lot more guidance in terms of what to do when. That home screen is going to get more elaborate. Specifically, we'll be asking you how long you want to study on an average day, and then giving you really specific tasks to do to fill up that study time. Next, we'll let you add notes and mnemonic imagery and your own images from your camera roll to your flashcards so that they can get a lot more personal. We're also going to add a way for you to work with tutors and create your own sentences so that you're not limited to our content, and also so that our big shared database grows over time. We're going to create a way to search that database for example sentences for any word you'd like to learn, and we'll let you ask and answer questions about any sentence in that database so that you can actually ask directly, why does this sentence use the word blanche instead of blanc? And get a clear response. For now, Beta 2 is going to give you a lot to learn. And I don't think you're going to run out of content anytime soon. But before you know it, we'll be adding a lot more. And when we do, I'll be back with an updated walkthrough. Until then, enjoy!